In this video, we're going to take a look at how you can customize your accounting categories in Farmbrite. Now, by default, your Farmbrite system comes with standard categories that you can use. They're related to the US Schedule F tax categories, but are pretty standard for agricultural operations no matter where you're located. Without doing any of the customization that we outline in this video, you can still use those default categories when you're adding income and expense transactions, and they're still available on reports for you. But if you have unique needs and you want to customize these, you can navigate to Account, Chart of Accounts, and then set up whatever custom categories you'd like. Notice that all of the default categories that we just saw on the transaction screen are included below on this page. If you don't think you need any of these, you can start from scratch, but if you think you have use for most of them, and maybe just want to make some changes or add a few more, then you can choose to customize default categories to start with them as the basis for your custom categories. Once added, you can edit any existing category or add new ones. You'll give the category a name and then choose whether it's an expense or income category. We're adding chicken feed here, which is obviously an expense, and we're going to associate it with the already existing parent category of feed. Making this connection means that any transactions that we associate with the chicken feed category will also be included in the totals for the feed category. And the next field, tax line, kind of works in the same way. Now you can create whatever custom categories that you want to track within the Farmbrite software, but you probably still have tax reporting obligations to classify income and expense in certain ways. The tax line that we add here will tell Farmbrite to associate expenses in this category with this tax line on your tax summary report. You'll see in a minute how we can add this same tax line to multiple categories and then combine them into that one row on the tax summary report. We can also add an internal accounting code here as well. So if you already have an accounting system structure in place for your farm operation, you can add that internal code here. And we're going to save this category, and then we're going to immediately add another, and that one's going to be for cattle feed. Everything we just talked about is applicable here as well. It's an expense. We're going to put it under the parent of feed. We're also going to add it to that same tax line 16. And we're going to use a different internal accounting code and then save that. So now you can see that we have one parent feed category and then two child categories for chicken feed and cattle feed, and see that all three of them are associated with tax line 16. And now that you know how to create custom categories, let's take a look at how they can be used. Now we've navigated to the accounting dashboard and we're going to record a transaction. When we categorize the expense, notice the new categories for chicken feed and cattle feed available for us. We'll add this one to chicken feed, associate it with our chicken flock, save it, and then we can set a category filter on the dashboard to just show us our chicken feed transactions. Now when we navigate to reports and run the profit and loss statement, we'll see separate sections for chicken feed and cattle feed transactions, and then a total for feed overall. And to see how those tax lines come into play, let's run our tax summary report and see our total for line 16. So now you can see that it's easy to get both the internal breakdown that you care about between cattle and chicken feed, but also remain compliant with your local tax laws and report them all together as a feed expense.